I cannot believe all of this is happening. There was a bomb threat on a Nashville flight going to Fort Lauderdale, and Jake Lang, who was doing an anti-Islam demonstration in New York City, had a handmade bomb thrown at him. Meanwhile, airports across the nation are packed because there is a partial government shutdown since February 14th. Check out how the Houston airport has looked in the last few days. Some airports are so backed up because of the lack of TSA agents that they are overflowing their lines into parking garages. And we also have the Kansas City airport had to evacuate everybody because of credible bomb threats. So what on earth is going on? How is this being allowed in our country? How is it okay that people in Congress are now to this day saying that we must abolish DHS, which is meant to protect us? It was created after 9/11, and now we are seeing airports backed up, the lack of security as people are getting on airplanes, and bomb threats in our airports, bomb threats at our people. It is just absolutely insane. So how did the mayor, the Muslim mayor of New York City, respond to what happened to Jake Lang? Oh, well, he says basically that it's his fault. He says yesterday, white supremacist Jake Lang organized a protest outside Gracie Manson's mansions rooted in bigotry and racism. Such hate has no place in New York City. So this man believes that Jake's presence was hateful and not the action of throwing a bomb at somebody. And so then he tries to be like, oh, yes, violence is all bad. Thank you to New York City. This is a dude who is allowing this. New York City is a mess. All he has done is made a bunch of fake promises that even his supporters don't like him anymore. Okay? So this woman shares her experience on the Southwest flight and what happened. You guys probably saw this video as it was all over the internet, and they were saying, heads down, hands up.
Stand up, let's go. Stand up. Everybody, heads down. Stand up. Stand up.
So what you guys are going to hear from this woman's response is basically that they had no clue what was happening. She thought that a woman was sick on the airplane, and everyone was angry because they were just sitting in the airplane. Little did they know that, I don't think that they knew that it was a bomb threat. Flight diverted due to possible security matter. This is another passenger's video on the flight.
At this time, we need everybody to have their heads down and hands up. Heads down, hands up. Heads down, hands up. Heads down, hands up. I need to see everyone's hands. Heads down, hands up. Heads down, hands up. Heads down.
This is so tragic. If you guys have ever visited the One Trade Center building that they rebuilt where the Twin Towers used to be, and you go to the museum, they play the audios of people calling their family members, people talking to each other, what the captain was saying. And it's just so tragic to know that minutes later, hundreds, thousands of lives were lost. And now we're hearing similar audios. Thank God that Jake Lang is okay. Thank God that these passengers are okay. Thank God that the people at the Kansas City airport are okay. Seriously, God has been protecting thousands of people, thousands of Americans over the last few days. And it seems like these attacks are in retaliation to the war in Iran. I don't understand how there are people in our country that are supportive of these Marxist Islamic terrorist groups. It just shows the amount of funding that has gone to them. And again, we have so many Democrats, maybe even Republicans at this point, who want the government to stay partially shut down. And are cutting funding to DHS, which is meant to keep us safe. And instead, people are not able to pass through security swiftly. I mean, it is really not normal to see airports this crowded, overflowing, just insane. We have the Homeland Security page posting Americans across the country are now feeling the fallout from the reckless Democrat shutdown of DHS. Today, travelers are facing TSA lines of nearly 3 hours long. So guys, I am actually going to be traveling because I have to tomorrow. So I'll let you know what the airports are like and how the security in Denver is like. And also, I believe I'm going to be able to speak with Jake Lang tomorrow and understand what happened. Okay, we're going to get to that in a second, and some of those clips are just insane. But let's go ahead and finish understanding what is happening with this shutdown. We have DHS.gov posting another Democrat government shutdown dramatically hurts Americans' national security. I mean, they seriously don't care about us. Cutting off resources and funding to FEMA, TSA, and the Coast Guard, and thousands of federal law enforcement officers. I mean, they will go above and beyond to protect their insider trading fraud schemes and all these businesses and all these daycares and autism fraud and all of this stuff. They will protect that, right? But they won't protect us? Are you kidding me? Where the money's actually supposed to be going to. They don't want it to go there. And so there you just saw a guy throw a bomb, you guys. On this channel, we've gone to so many different types of protests on the street and talk to people where things are happening. People want to go see too and interact and have important conversations. And so it's terrifying to know that this is what is happening.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
So it's interesting that Zohran doesn't specifically point out what it is that he yelled before he threw this bomb. And I'll give you a hint. It is the same thing that a man yelled before shooting 2 National Guardsmen in Washington, D.C. Sarah Beckstrom, Andrew, thank God Andrew is alive, but Sarah, she's not. We have terrorists in our country. Look at this post says heavy clashes. I can't play the full clip because it gets violent. Okay, so you saw Jake Lang had a goat with him, and people are mentioning how the news, for some reason, isn't calling out the men who were involved in creating this explosive device. So, like the mayor, again, he names Jake. He calls a TATP sharpened bomb an explosive device. Doesn't name the 2 suspects, but he names Jake. And he basically justified it as well, which is wild. The mayor of New York was just like, oh, yes, this makes sense because he was a bad person and he deserves it. Like, what? It's crazy. Doesn't name the 2 suspects and doesn't use the word terrorism. I guess not. I guess the mayor thinks that this is okay.
Area, landing in the crosswalk of East 87th Street and East End Avenue. Witnesses reported seeing flames and smoke as it traveled through the air before it struck a barrier and extinguished itself a few feet from police officers. Mr. Balat then ran southbound on East End Avenue toward 86th Street and gets a second device from a man tentatively ID'd as Ibrahim Nick, 19 years old. Mr. Balat lights the device and starts running with it. He then drops the device on the west side of East End Avenue between East 86th and East 87th Street.
That is just crazy how coordinated and planned that attack was. Okay, people have been, so after that Southwest flight, crazy. I can't imagine being on a flight where there's a bomb threat and the passengers sitting right behind you. People have also been resurfacing this clip. I was in London when this clip came out, and that really scared me because I believe it was a flight from London, I believe. But listen to what he says.
Going to bomb the plane. Death to America, death to Trump. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
So the guy's saying death to America, death to Trump on a plane, screaming. We've seen videos recently. There was this video of, I believe it was a New York City policeman who was in some closet type thing that just on the floor. And this guy walks in and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I guess he was praying. But again, we are time after time seeing how incompatible Islam is with the West. This guy, what a hero. This man in the green jacket, seriously, I applaud his bravery for taking down that guy, because if he didn't, who knows what could have happened? You know? Thank goodness for his bravery. And it also does show that our country, we've already been invaded. Okay, this is just another random crazy airplane clip that comes out of the last few days. A flight in Miami. This woman was refusing to use headphones. And, you know, sometimes I see clips like this and I'm like, oh, this is just, you know, a one-off really random thing. That's why it went viral. But not that long ago, I was on a flight where this guy was doing the same thing. And the flight attendant asked him a few times to turn down his volume. And he was doing it as a way of rebellion. And then he began to say mean things to the flight attendant. And she was like, "We're going to have to take you off the plane." And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe I'm saying this. And so, I don't know, just airport etiquette is not the same as it used to be. Screaming stuff on the airplane, listening to whatever you're listening to out loud, why? You know, I think airplane travel used to be something that was considered luxury. People would get really dressed up and it was like a formal event. And now people are acting like this.
Paid money for it, and I played a video for 30 fucking seconds at 50% sound. And that's the fucking reason you're kicking me off? So fucking, hey, if you want to record, then totally fine. No. Okay, I'm calm. No, I'm not.
You notice how just annoyed everybody else is? We're like, they got places to be. Come on.
Oh, fuck.
What an actual psychopath. Okay. So, I mean, all of these things that we've talked about, the Jake Lang attack and this just insanity in the airports. Why is all of this happening? People say it's in response to the war. Some people are confused as to why this is happening. Other people believe that it's totally makes sense because Iran was building nuclear weapons and they are not very friendly. I don't think that we can like coexist together and live in peace. Like they have an ideology that wants to I'm probably going to edit out what I just said. So it's going to be like cut. That's the reason why it was cut. But the truth is that Donald Trump's stance on this has not changed. And interestingly enough, some people like Nick Fuentes say, oh, they're going to switch to the Democrat Party because of Donald Trump. Oh, like he just loves war and he's just doing it all for his ego and stuff. Yet he was saying that this should be done since 1980. And the Democrats also have been saying this. Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris as well. She flip-flopped on it all the time. Nobody knows what she actually believed. But Donald Trump has been consistent on his stance.
When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do. And you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries. I honestly don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, and there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation, and I believe that we should have done it, and I'm very disappointed that we didn't do it, and I don't think anybody would have held us in abeyance. I don't think anybody would have been angry with us, and we had every right to do it at the time.
Isn't that crazy, seeing this clip? and listening to him talk, I believe, I do. I trust the president. I believe that he has more information than we do, than any commentator online. It's above our pay grade for sure, right? He's the president, and it sounds like this is something that he believes needed to be done in order to save our country. Hillary Clinton, at one point, she wanted to deport people. At one point, they believed in voter ID as well, the Democrats. At one point, they believed in attacking Iran. But, when Donald Trump does it, Nick Fuentes has a meltdown.
And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran.
Oh, interesting.
Well, there are different reasons that we should be thoughtful about each. Most recently, I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. And look, I mean, Iran has American blood on their hands. Donald Trump has dragged us into a war the American people do not want. He has put America...
Maybe if those American people are the ones who are the mayor of New York City or the ones screaming "Allah Akbar" on airplanes and stuff, maybe them, right? I mean, in New York. So there is this video. Trump wore a white hat during the dignified transfer ceremony in Dover today when 6 U.S. soldiers were returned from Trump's war in Iran, says that post. So here's that video. It's sad. It's very, very sad. They fought for us to have our freedoms. And so when there's New Yorkers that are having a vigil for Khamenei, the former leader, right? Khamenei Ayatollah, the guy who was taken out, the guy who made it so tens of thousands of Iranians were brutally taken from the world because they were protesting. There's people in our country that are celebrating them. Meanwhile, we have soldiers who sacrificed everything for us. And people can't even be grateful for them. People want to mock our military, mock people who would join the military, people who believe in protecting our country. I find that insane. I find it very, very sad. This post says that Joe Biden and Kamala handed $16 billion to Iran. What do you guys think about everything that's going on? Please let me know and make sure you're subscribed. There's so much going on and I really enjoy being the one to keep you updated. So make sure you're subscribed.